Hello and welcome to the new section of my channel that I shall call the monthly huddle. In this huddle, I want to connect with you, the viewer, and talk about some of the things we don't necessarily get a chance to discuss when I do my DIY videos or I do my amateurish car review videos. I figured this would be a good way for us to get to know each other and talk about some of the cooler things in life. I'm going to separate this segment into 4 sections. The first section is going to talk about my car, basically what's the latest status and plans for the near future. The second section is going to be a car industry section where I just highlight anything that's interesting to me when it comes to the car industry. 3, anything else pretty much that I want to talk about, and 4, Q&A. You've been asking me a lot of really interesting questions and I've been answering every single one of them for the most part, but it's all in the comment section. So I figured I might as well highlight some of them on a bigger forum so many of you can know what the question was and what the answer was. Now let me get a sip of my herbal tea and let's get started. I'm going to kick off this section by highlighting some of the things we've done to the car in 2018, and there's been a lot. I've actually been uploading a video every Sunday starting from maybe the second quarter of 2018, and things really add up. And in no particular order, we've done a lot of carbon fiber upgrades. A couple of trunk lips, a couple of diffusers, side skirts, a couple of front lips, one of them which got shattered. We've done a bunch of interior upgrades, steering wheel, the armrest, interior trim, Apple TV that Brian over at Keys Motorsports installed for me. My mud flaps have been extremely popular. So if you're actually looking for a set of mud flaps for your F30, F80, hit me up. We've had 3 different exhausts on my car, and I'm actually very unhappy with all of them. So the 4th one is coming up in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned for that. We've done a couple of track events, New Jersey Motorsport Park, Lime Rock, and most importantly, I got a chance to go to the Nürburgring. Obviously, it wasn't in my car. I rented a GTI, but it was an amazing experience. I got a chance to do a couple of car reviews. I drove a couple of Beamers, a couple of Volvos, pure turbo F80 M3, as well as a pure turbo F30. I talked to you about some of the car issues that I had. Nothing really too crazy, but I still talk to you about those things. Most of the videos have been DIY videos, and I linked all of them down in the description. I cannot tell you how happy it makes me feel that so many of you find these videos helpful and interesting. So many of you have reached out to me telling me how helpful they are and how thankful you are that I make those videos. So it really makes me happy. Now, so far in January, I've done a couple of things to my car. I've installed a Dynon muffler that I quickly uninstalled because it wasn't for me. I installed a battery tender, Alcantara shift boot, and I also did a radar detector as well as a mount. Coming up, I have a tutorial on coating, as well as some exterior modifications to the rear of the car that you might find very interesting. Later this year, I think I might switch up the suspension setup on my car. I'm thinking of going with coilovers. Either that, or maybe towards the end of the year, I'm gonna pick up a track car. I don't know. I'm sort of going back and forth. I do track this car, but I feel like I'm not able to push the car all the way because it's always in the back of my mind that the car is pretty expensive. When I go to these track events, I don't get insurance. So if something happens to the car, I'm pretty much screwed. So I think I might get a track car at the end of the season. We'll see, but you'll find out about it. And today, actually, on this eve of polar vortex that we're experiencing, the car is sitting in my garage. It's very filthy. I actually haven't washed it in 3 weeks because I've been very busy and it's been very cold, but I still drive the car every day. It starts right up. I take it on snowboarding trips. I take it to the train station. I take it shopping. I drive my daughter in it. So it's an awesome car. So here I wanted to talk about a couple of cars that sparked my interest. For example, Mark V Supra that just came out. I think it's absolutely ugly. I think it's underpowered. It's not what we're expecting. It does not come with a manual transmission. And I think I just don't believe the hype. I think the hype is very similar to what we were getting when Civic Type R first came out. Everyone was raving about it. Dealers were charging crazy markup prices, and now you almost don't see them on the street. So I predict the same thing's going to happen with the Supra. There's just too much competition out there for a car that's this ugly to survive, and without having a manual transmission. If I'm shopping for a car like this, I would pick an M2 competition with the manual transmission any day. The new 911 992 came out, Carrera S, I believe. There's no manual transmission available just yet, but the PDK that they're offering with the upgraded engine pushing 444 horsepower, same as M3 M4 competition pack, does 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, which is absolutely amazing for sort of a base non-GT 911. And I've said it before to you in some of my other videos. If I didn't have kids, I would absolutely be driving a 911. I just got back from Paris a couple of days ago, and I noticed a couple of really interesting cars over there. Three which really sparked my interest. The first one was the Citroen Grand C4 Picasso, and what I liked about it is the front windshield. It kind of reminds me of the front windshield of a Tesla Model X. And when Model X first came out, everyone was raving about how beautiful the windshield was because it stretches all the way up. Guess what? There's a Citroen in Europe that does the same thing, and I bet you for a fraction of the price. Speaking of Citroen, I've noticed that some of the new Citroens have something that they call a fixed hub steering wheel. And what is it? It's pretty spooky. The airbag, along with the buttons that are on the airbag, stay stationary while the steering wheel turns around. It's really spooky, but I don't know if I would necessarily like it. Next time I'm in Europe, I'm gonna try to rent a Citroen and see how I like it, and maybe do a quick review for you guys. And last but not least, I noticed that Paris has been running hydrogen taxis. Yes, that's right, hydrogen taxis. I know Honda has been running a fleet of hydrogen vehicles down in California, but it really surprised me that the Paris had a fleet of hydrogen taxis. I hope this is a trend that picks up, because I still think that as amazing as electric vehicles are, I still think hydrogen is the future. So even though this is a new section, I'm still going to stay on Paris. I was really concerned when I was going there because I knew that there were these protests that were happening. But what many people don't know is that these protests only happen on Saturdays at designated places, and all the protesters are required to wear yellow vests. So if you are looking to go to Paris nowadays, don't be afraid, because you will not be harmed. It's absolutely safe. You just want to stay out of certain areas that are fully designated, and you'll know that you should not be entering there. And now is actually a really good time to go to Paris. I paid, and I kid you not, $250 round trip per person for a flight to Paris, which is an absolute steal. Another thing that really impressed me about Paris are all these electric scooters. I think many of you viewers who watch me in California, you have I don't know, San Francisco, Los Angeles, you have something called the Bird, which is basically a scooter sharing program. Paris was absolutely flooded with these scooters. Now, and I thought this would maybe take away from the beauty of this city, but not really. It was actually pretty cool seeing all these people zipping on these scooters. It kind of makes you feel like we're entering a new age where things like that are becoming the norm. And as new battery technologies improve, I'm really hopeful that we can one day have a scooter that lasts you a couple of days without having to recharge it. That would be really, really awesome. Here I'm going to highlight one question that someone asked me that I really wanted to talk to you about. And the question was, how do you manage your time between work, family, cars, and YouTube? And I'm not going to lie, it's been very, very difficult. I work pretty crazy hours. I have an hour-and-a-half long commute to Manhattan. I live in New Jersey. I commute to Manhattan, and I leave my house at 6 a.m. every morning. And typically I'm back between 7:30 and 8:30. When I come back, I want to obviously hang out with my wife, hang out with my daughter. Then I want to be a good father, so I bathe my daughter, help her brush her teeth, put her to bed, read her a book or two, then come back, hang out with the wife, and next thing you know, it's already 10, 11 o'clock and you have to go to sleep. So it's really tough during the week. Weekends are even tougher. Obviously, you have errands. Now, you know, as my daughter grows older, we have ballet practice. You have to visit your family members. So it's really hard to find the time. But I've been trying to find an hour here or there. Sometimes, actually, I take a day off from work and I film a couple of videos. I actually have a couple of videos that are in the pipeline, all of which I filmed in one day. I think it's 3 different videos that I filmed in one day. It's really hard, not only with filming, but also with editing. Editing takes a long time. I think for a typical 10-minute video, it takes me about 2-3 hours of editing. It's not as easy as it sounds. So this whole YouTube business is very time consuming. But the thing is, I really enjoy it. It's 10:30 at night right now. My wife and my daughter are sleeping upstairs, and I'm making this video because I'm really enjoying it. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. There's a big TV here right behind me. I have the new Xbox. I could be playing video games, but I really don't feel like it because I think making videos and connecting with like-minded individuals like you is something that I'm really enjoying. So I am going to continue making these videos. I'm going to try to stay on schedule and release them every week. I'm gonna try to switch things up a little bit. I want to get into car reviews a little more. So if you have any cars that you would like me to review, hit me up. If you're local to New Jersey, we can meet up. But no more rumbling for me. I'm gonna finish this video right now. I'm gonna spend the next 2 hours editing it so I can upload it for you, because I want to release this video or videos like these monthly huddles at the end of each month. Tomorrow's a really long day at work for me, so I need to do it tonight. So if it means me going to sleep at 2 a.m., so be it, as long as you enjoy the content. And speaking of enjoying the content, if you are enjoying it, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. Leave me comments down below if you have any questions you want me to address in next month's huddle. Put them down below. I will try to address every single one of them. It doesn't have to be a question. It could also be maybe a thought about a car you would like me to express my thoughts on. Just like my sophisticated thoughts on Mark V Supra, which I suspect will get me a lot of heated comments. But I am ready for that while I sip my tea. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. This is a new segment, so go easy on me. They'll get better. But let me know anything you want to talk about down in the description below, as well as any tips on how to improve these segments. And cheers, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.